So once again, good afternoon to you all. Thank you so much for joining me today for this webinar to tell you all about 473 Grenada. Great property, which I'm sure you're all going to be as excited as I am after I've shared this information with you. So just some housekeeping before we get started. All of you are muted. You will see that you are muted at the moment. However, if you do have any questions as we go along, please feel free to pop them into the Q&A box, which you'll see on your control panel. I will try and answer as we go along, but in case I don't get to your questions as we're in the flow of the session, I will come to them at the very end, and we will have a Q&A session after the webinar has finished. So feel free to ask the questions in the chat box, or actually it's in the Q&A box. I think you'll find that actually works better. I've just said we are recording the session, so I will send you, following the webinar, I will send you a link so you can download and have a look and watch the recording, as well as some other information. So sit back, relax and enjoy. You will get a recording to refer back to later with the information. So a bit of an introduction of myself. Most of you are some familiar faces who I know well, so it's great to see you joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rebecca. I am the owner of Hummingbird Consultancy, and we are a global agency looking after luxury properties around the world. Today, we're going to be talking about the lovely 473 Grenada Boutique Resort. So let's get started. Bit of information about today's webinar. The purpose of today's webinar is to give you a full immersion into 473 Grenada. We will also be starting with a bit of a destination introduction. Some of you are familiar with the destination, I'm sure. Others not so much, so I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction to start with on Grenada, because knowing the destination is just as important as knowing the property itself. We'll give you some information on the resort, the villas, showcasing the villas, the amenities at the resort, highlight who is the perfect guest, who many of you being travel advisors are trying to match the perfect property to your clients. So that's what we're going to hopefully help you with today. And then towards the end of the session, I'll be sharing with you some updates, some information, and some special offers for our wonderful travel advisors. To give you a brief overview of the resort to start with, the property opened in 2018 and has just had a light renovation in the last year. It's owned and run by an amazing British couple called Jennifer and Mark Solomon, who you will often find at the resort and can't help themselves but hosting the guests and being those perfect hosts for everybody that stays at their beautiful property. It is a lovely secluded resort in a residential area. They have 9 villas in total, 1, 2 and 3 bedroom. We're obviously going to go through all of these in much more detail later on in the session, but it has a real authentic tropical inspiration throughout the whole property, and it is located in this amazing peninsula with stunning views all around. So it's really quite a unique property in Grenada to send your clients to and visit yourself if you get the chance. So the first section that we're going to start with is giving you an introduction into Grenada. So to help you discover this beautiful destination, I'm going to share with you a destination video to try and give you a real feel for the culture and the island. So sit back and enjoy. So as you can see, for a property that for an island that is so small, there is so much to do. So let me give you some fun facts about the destination. It's so Grenada is a major producer of spice, with a particular emphasis on nutmeg and mace. It's also responsible for producing about 1/3 of the world's supply of nutmegs, second only to Indonesia. The currency in Grenada is Eastern Caribbean dollars, which is pegged and linked to the US dollar at 2.7. And it is a small island, but it's got so much culture and so much to do. It's only 21 miles, which is 34 kilometers long, and 12 miles, which is 19 kilometers wide. So it's not a huge island. The population is around just over 115,000. And it has a very high literacy rate, with a really strong emphasis on providing exceptional education. People go to Grenada for the education that they provide, and it's a really educated country with so much inspiration. Chocolate. Who doesn't love a bit of chocolate? Chocolate is a big producer in the island. Cacao trees were first introduced in 1714 by the French, so who they'd settled in the island from 1650. So chocolate is very well ingrained. So for all of you chocolate lovers, this is a great destination. Also has a very low crime rate. It's very safe. The crime rate is from last year on the global crime index, for Grenada was only 21%. So it's a really safe destination. So where is Grenada? So the island is located at the southern end of the Grenadines island chain in the West Indies. Trinidad and Tobago is to the south, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is to the north, with the Caribbean Sea on the west and the Atlantic on the east. It's composed of the main island and actually 8 smaller islands. So you have the main Grenadian island, and then you have Carriacou, Petit Martinique, Ronda Island, Kelly Island, Diamond Island, Large Island, Saline Island, and Frigate Island. And I haven't remembered all of them. I have got them in front of me. But there are lots of little islands to explore off the main island as well. It's renowned for its lush landscapes, pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and obviously it's in the Caribbean. So the heart and soul of the Caribbean lifestyle is ingrained everywhere you go. And it's got a really unique blend of natural beauty, but really rich history with Grenada. So now you know where it is, how do you get there? So the great thing about Grenada is it has some fantastic airlift. It's got really good connections, and the Grenadian Tourism Board, the Tourism Authority are doing great work to try and build that airlift. We've got great connections from the US, which is only around 4 hours away. You have American Airlines that fly, oh, let me go back, sorry. You have American Airlines that fly from Miami and Charlotte either weekly, or 7 times a week. JetBlue from JFK and Boston, which are either daily from JFK, so great connections from that East Coast. Seasonal flights from Boston with JetBlue as well. Canada, only 5 hours away. Again, great connections with Air Canada and WestJet from Toronto. WestJet is only seasonal, but you do have that connections with Air Canada as well. The UK, for example, is another key destination, 10 hours away. It's a little bit longer, but it's worth that trip across the Atlantic. British Airways fly twice a week with from London Gatwick, which is via St. Lucia. So there's a quick stop off in St. Lucia, and then you just carry on off to Grenada. And they also have Virgin Atlantic from London Heathrow 3 times a week, 2 during the regular throughout the year and 1 seasonal. You also have some great regional connections as well, which you can see on that map that's on your screen. So you have great connections from the other Caribbean islands, such as Barbados. There's 9 flights a week from Barbados, for example. So great for anybody doing those twin center vacations. Caribbean Airlines fly from Trinidad, Port of Spain, 11 times, I believe, a week, and it's only about 40 minutes away. So again, another great connection. And Barbados from Caribbean islands are daily as well. So again, some really great regional connections. And for anybody wanting to explore the other islands within Grenada, you also have flights which take you to Carriacou. It's about a 20-minute flight. And then from there, you can obviously explore the island, or you can then take a ferry which takes you over to Petite Martinique, which is about 15 minutes on the ferry as well. So really, really great connections and great ways to explore and get to Grenada. So Grenada is divided into different parishes, and different parishes have got different features and different points of interest at each of them. So we'll start off with the main popular parish, which is St. George's. French settlers founded St. George's in 1650, for those of you who want some of the history. It is the capital of Grenada, which is a very tourist province, very popular with the tourism industry. You'll hear quite often people mention Grand Anne's Beach, and that's the main tourist area, which is also found here in St. George. It also has the export ports in this region as well, and it's where the airport is. And you can see that in the little green corner in the bottom right-hand side is where 473 Resort is located, on the right-hand side on that peninsula. The next province, province along that we're coming to, the next parish is St. John. So St. John is home to the largest nutmeg factory. So I'm going to give you a few key facts for each of the different parishes as we go around the island. So as I say, St. John is home to the largest nutmeg factory. The Douglaston Estate is one of the largest spice plantations in Grenada. And the main town of Gurave, and I probably pronounced that totally wrong, so I do apologise, is a fishing industry, a fishing village, which is really great to explore some of that local culture. Moving up and round, we have St. Mark, which is the smallest parish that you'll find in Grenada. It's got a total area of just 23 kilometres squared, which is a population of just under 4,000. So it's very small. And it's a quaint little fishing village of Victoria, which is the main place to visit. I've actually been there, and it's actually such a beautiful, quaint little town. It's really lovely to see. So moving to the top of the island, we move up to St. Patrick. So this is, as I say, on the northern tip of the island, with really some great, stunning northern coastal coastline areas, which overlook some of those smaller islands that I mentioned in the previous screen. Beautiful beach of Bathway is also located here, which is a must visit for anybody that's exploring the different parishes and the different areas of the island. And then we go to the right-hand side where we have the largest parish in Grenada of St. Andrew. Most of this is, as you can see, in fact, all of this is covering the Atlantic coast, the coastline, and it's got the second largest town in Grenada of Grenville. So if you hear that name, this is where it's located. Lots of history here, several archaeological sites, different plantations to explore, and some really great lush jungle rainforest to explore in St. Andrew Parish as well. And then finally, we move down to the last parish, which is St. David. And you can see from the map there that the resort that we're talking about today, 473, is right on the border between St. George and St. David. They're very easy to get to either. St. David has got lots of unspoilt rocky coastline, sloping up towards the mountains and the peaks in Grenada. And like I say, we're right by it, so it's easy to explore, and it's a really great difference between where on the left-hand side of the island, where you can see that little indent is where Grand Anse is, and I'm going to show you a bit more of that in a second as well. And it's got lots of different different areas to sort of go out to easily, and to drive around the whole island takes about 5 hours. I'd done it in about 6.5 to go all the way around the island, but I was stopping everywhere and talking to everybody, so it's very easy to do, and it's very easy to explore with great roads. Obviously, if you go off the beaten track, you have to sort of be a bit brave on some of the roads, but generally the infrastructure is great. Very easy to explore. They drive on the left-hand side of the road, so just bear that in mind. And the locals are great. I mean, if you get lost, just ask somebody. I did several times. I got lost, and everybody is very friendly and happy to help put you on the right track. So let's go into 473. As I mentioned earlier, it is a boutique resort. It's got 9 villas. There's 9 beautiful, well-appointed villas, either 1, 2, or 3 bedroom villas. There's one villa has a private pool, and you can also see in this photo here, there's a beautiful infinity pool as well. So to give you a true taste and a real feel for the property, let me share with you a very short video just to give you some live feel for the beautiful 473 resort. So welcome to 473, and hopefully that has made you want to come and visit us. Let me share with you now just a bit of a resort layout, just so as we go through the session, you can have a good feel as to how everything's situated. So on the map that you can see in front of you, on the right-hand side, you'll see the water's edge, and it is a waterfront property. It's not a beachfront property. It is a waterfront property. There is, you can see on the right-hand side there, a very small beach. It's a small local beach, which has access by coming out of the property, walking down that perimeter, and then you can access the beach from there. But there's no direct access from the resort itself. It's all very secluded and very contained and private. But those villas along the front, you have 4 villas that are on the waterfront. You have the first villa, villa number 1 is the one with the pool that you saw on the video. And then you have villas 2, 3, and 4, which are those cliffside, we call them the cliffside villas, which overlook those beautiful vistas looking over the bay and the rainforest on the other side of the bay as well, that you saw in that video on the peninsula. Moving back, so the next level, you've got the 2 just behind that in the middle, which are the garden villas, villas 4 and 5. They're the villas either side of the infinity pool. And again, these are lovely villas which have got a really nice little garden area. You feel like you're really in the mix of all those tropical gardens that you just saw on that video. But moving further back, on the bottom of the map that you can see, We have the villas 7 and 8. So they're slightly raised, so you can't tell from the static map, but they are slightly higher up. And they are two-story villas, which overlook out towards the water's edge. And then in the very top left-hand corner, you'll see Villa 9, which is the luxury, the three-bedroom luxury villa, which we'll tell you more about. Right in the centre, the real hub and the melting pot of the resort is where you'll find the 70-foot infinity pool, which is also where the poolside dining takes place, which we'll talk about as well. So this year has been quite an exciting year for 473. So some of you may have heard of the property previously. For those of you who haven't, these are some new additions for 2025. I mentioned earlier about the poolside dining. So that's a new addition to 2025, offering the poolside dining area, which is just surrounding that infinity pool, lovely gazebo area. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are all served there as standard, and it's also where they host theme nights, and it's the social dining area of the resort, and that's been introduced this year. They also have introduced a dedicated villa concierge, so every guest that stays at the property will have one person that is their dedicated person that's from planning the visit, on arrival and throughout their whole stay. They have a personal concierge that will look after everything they need, whether that's planning trips and excursions, organising their car rental, or just making sure that they have everything they need in their villas or on their property. There's a dedicated villa concierge for everybody. This year, we've also introduced car hire inclusion rates. So as I said, this property is perfect for exploring Grenada, but you have to have a method to do that. A lot of guests that visit the resort like to have their own car and explore in their own time and own pace and go to where they want to go. So the resort has partnered with a car rental company so they can provide car rental inclusive rates as well. Island experiences that are going to be introduced or are introduced into the experience that guests can enjoy on property are things like theme nights, local barbecues. They also do a weekly Grenadian oil down, which is the traditional national dish for anybody who doesn't know. And cultural events and activities that have been introduced to again give guests more of an experience at the property. There's spice tastings, we have rum tastings going on, chocolate making or cocoa making, etc. They've got a resident yoga instructor that can do yoga activities that vary different activities weekly. They also have a resident PADI certified dive instructor on property as well. So if you have any clients that are keen divers and although we don't have the dive shop on property, they have very close partnerships with local dive centres, and the diving instructor who is on property can also help with that guidance and supporting. And they also do the snorkeling and things from the actual resort itself, just off the water's edge. So some really great additions to 2025 for the property. Just to highlight some of the other resort facilities that I haven't mentioned, I've already mentioned about the infinity pool. There's also complimentary non-motorized water sports such as kayaks, paddleboards. They also offer snorkeling equipment. There's a really nice reef just off of the water's edge there that guests can snorkel out to. They've also got the shaded poolside gazebo lounge where guests can just sit, relax, read a book, chill out. Absolutely lovely area. And they have 1,500 square foot of event space and a social sun deck that's available for guests to enjoy as well. Obviously, like all resorts, you've got the daily housekeeping, personalised turn down service, which is really a talking point for the resort with how they have lots of different personalised turn down that they do as well. So let's move on to the villas themselves. So as I said, there is 9 villas in this beautiful property. They have 2 one-story garden villas, 2 two-story loft villas, 4 cliffside and 1 3-bedroom. And we're going to start off with what all the villas include. So every villa at 473 have a private terrace and balcony, fully fitted kitchens, living area, air conditioning in the bedrooms, Bluetooth sound system, Smart TVs, although I'm not sure why you'd want to sit there and watch a TV when you're in this beautiful location, but they're there for any guests that do want to. I also mentioned previously that they have daily housekeeping, tea and coffee facilities are around, are available, complimentary, and they also have a complimentary provisioning service because all of the villas have their own kitchen and fully fitted kitchen. If guests would like to have some provisions so they can cook themselves if they want to, the resort will do that shopping for them and they have a provisioning service that they can provide free of charge for any of the guests staying with them. So let's start with our leading category villas. These are the garden villas. These garden villas, we have two of them, and the garden villas are 1 or 2 bedrooms. So in all the villas, when I say there's 1 or 2 bedrooms, each of the villas have access to 2 bedrooms. However, to allow more flexibility, guests can book 1 bedroom, in which case the second bedroom is just closed off to them. So they just have the main one master bedroom, or they can book it for 4 people for the 2 bedroom. This particular category, it has their own private garden terrace, open plan layout, which is really lovely. It feels very spacious. That opens out into this garden terrace with little patios and seating areas, and they all have partial sea views. We don't say have full sea views because they are garden villas, so you are surrounded by this beautiful landscaped garden. But in between those bushes and trees, you can actually see the ocean. So they have partial sea view. And as I mentioned before, they all have their own fully fitted kitchens available. So in total, in the garden villas, we have two of them. They are 1,200 square foot. Each, the master bedroom has one king bed, and the second bedroom has a queen bed. Maximum occupancy for the main bedrooms is 4, but they can have some extra guests, some extra beds for children if needed. There is plenty of space. So then we move on to the next category, which is our loft villas. The loft villas are beautiful 1 or 2 bedrooms again, and these are 2-story villas where they have amazing, especially from the upstairs, they have some really lovely ocean views that just look straight over the top out to the open water. It's beautiful, especially from the master bedroom on the upper level, which is lovely. They also have these spacious private terraces at the front and really sort of great social areas for guests to stay in as well. So as with the garden villas, we also have two of these. Size is also 1,200 square foot with king and queen bedroom in each of the bedrooms. As with the garden villas, same size, maximum occupancy is 4 with additional children possible as well. So moving on to the next villa, we have our cliffside with private pool. We only have one of these, so it's a very special room. It is a 1 bedroom suite room with that private pool area here. It also has a very large terrace which overlooks onto the water's edge with an outdoor alfresco style kitchen and dining area. And here you can see we only have one of them, as I mentioned. The size is 1,100 square foot, so a great size with that living area there, and you can see the pool to the right-hand side, and just those views with that floor-to-ceiling window, double aspect floor-to-ceiling window is just absolutely stunning. There's a king in this room. It's a king bedroom with a maximum occupancy of 2. So moving along that waterfront area, we then have our cliffside villas. So our cliffside villas, you can see here, all look out onto that water's edge with panoramic views of that bay. Beautiful indoor, outdoor. It really feels like you're bringing the outdoors inside here. Fully fitted kitchen, living areas, and those stunning floor-to-ceiling windows that I mentioned before in all of the cliffside villas. In total, we have 3 of these cliffside villas. Size is 1,200 square foot. And in the 2 bedrooms, we have king and queen. In one of the rooms, so in Villa 4, which is actually the villa you can see here, there is also, in the second bedroom, so you have a king bed, but in the second bedroom, there's also twin beds. So there's the option of that as well. So we have the additional advantage of being able to have up to 2 children and 1 infant in these villas. And then we move on to our three bedrooms. This is the highest, this is the last of the villa categories. And this is the three-bedroom luxury villa. This is a huge villa. I mean, it's massive. It's got three great size bedrooms, this really spacious and social living area. Great, it's perfect for families, multi-generational families that are coming, groups, celebrations, special occasions. This is a fabulous villa to explore. Like I said, there's lots of space here. Outside terraces, a large garden out the front. It's very self-contained over here, so it's really sort of great for those groups that want to stay together. And from the balcony on the upper level, there's amazing ocean views because it's actually one of the highest villas on the property overlooking the water. And as I mentioned, it's three bedrooms, but there is only one of them. So it does, like the pool villa, there is only one of them, very special. And the whole size is 2,800 square foot. And every bedroom in this villa has a king bed. So they're all king bed in the main rooms here. There is the option if you have a family or a group that wanted a little bit extra that's bringing maybe a nanny with them, or if you've got a couple of extra kids that want to go into bunk beds, there is another area which isn't part of the main inventory, but it is accessible that could be offered in this room as well. So in technically the theory, the maximum occupancy of this villa is 6, but there is the opportunity to sort of add extra children in if needed as well. So that is the 9 villas that we have at the fabulous resort. So let me tell you a bit about the dining options now. So the dining options at 473 are, as I mentioned, all reinvigorated this year. We have the social dining options, which all rates at the property are inclusive of breakfast. That's served poolside, so in that beautiful area by the infinity pool. Or alternatively, if guests would prefer to have it in their villa, room service style, that's absolutely fine as well. In-villa dining options are perfectly possible. We just ask that it's on request, so just let the team know in advance that that's what they would like to do or when they order. They can also have a private chef come into their own villa as well, so they have somebody in their kitchen cooking for them if they would like to. Or if they use the provisioning service, they're more than welcome to cook for themselves. But all rates do include breakfast, and that's served poolside or as an in-villa dining option. The meal plans are on offer. As I said, always a bed and breakfast, but they also offer a half board and a full board supplement. So, for example, the half board supplement for breakfast and dinner is an additional $65 per adult, $30 for children. Children, when I refer to children, are all under the age of 12. Full board supplement is also available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's a supplement of $145 per person per day. And for children, it's 70. So again, options there if required. Private dining experiences can also be arranged. So either that's in their villa or in certain areas of the resort. If they wanted to have on the beachfront, for example, next door, that can also be arranged. But again, prior notice if possible. The private dining experiences where they have chef in the villa do need to be booked in advance if possible. They can't, it's a lot harder to do the provisioning for that if they're on the fly on the day. So 24 hours notice would be great. So that's the dining options. And in addition to that, they do things like the tastings, as I mentioned before, the rum tastings, the chocolate tastings. So there's lots of other, although they're not quite dining options as such. So I mentioned that this property is perfect for exploring the island, and this is just going to show you some of the key attractions that we recommend and are easily accessible from 473. I mentioned before about Grand Anse Beach. That's only 20 to 30 minutes away. Underwater Sculpture Park, which was it's very famous, the first underwater sculpture park, is only 30 minutes away as well. And it's got some really great sculptures to explore, either snorkeling or diving. You've got the historic St. George's about 30 minutes away. Grand Teton National Park, which is at the centre of an old volcano, which is great for walks and wildlife. You can get to within 30 to 40 minutes. River tubing for somebody who's a little bit more adventurous. If you have anybody, families love this one for the older families. It's about 45 to 55 minutes away. So adventurous rapids to anything from the adventurous rapids to the lazy, relaxing float down the river. So lots of options there. Chocolate factory tours. They've also got the Welcome Stone, which is about an hour and a half away, that you can visit. So there's lots, and this is just a sample of what Grenada has to offer. So there's so much on island that you can explore. And as you can see, it's easily accessible from where 473 is. So we also want to talk a little bit about special occasions. Special occasions at the resort are something which are very, very popular. Being a small boutique, it's perfect for those exclusive buyouts, weddings, celebrations. Those memorable moments are perfect at this property. Destination weddings, there's packages available for destination weddings. So dedicated wedding planner for the whole event. Various locations to actually have the ceremony, whether it's by the poolside or, as you can see in this photo, on the little private, the public beach next door. Special menu options. For destination weddings, you have anybody looking for destination wedding. They also offer 7 nights, 7-night package with 4 nights free stay for the bride and groom. And a 50% discount for their first anniversary to return and come and relive those moments. For private celebrations, so that's the destination weddings, but for any other celebrations, anniversaries, renewal of vows, anything like that at all, corporate retreats as well. They've had a few corporate retreats or celebrations. They can organise private dinners, various events, dedicated menu options, and they have the flexibility of not just using their public spaces, but they also have things like the 3-bedroom villa, that social space on the downstairs level, with the living area and dining area is also great for groups. So there's lots of options available within the special occasions area at 473. So now I want to talk about a few special offers that we've currently got available. So these special offers are available to be booked by, so you have to get your skates on because they're only available to be booked by the 28th of February, but the stay dates can be any time before the 15th of December. So if you've got anybody looking to book and they're looking to go ahead and book now, they can stay anytime up until December. So the 2 key promotions that we have, the complimentary meal plan upgrade. So everybody gets bed and breakfast. So there's a complimentary upgrade to half board to full board, and available in all villa categories with a minimum of 4 nights stay. Have to mention this promotion at the time of booking because it is limited. Complimentary car rental. I mentioned earlier that they have the partnership with the car rental. So the car rental is available to, sorry, let me just get the screen to catch up with me. So the complimentary car rental is available again for anybody staying for 4 nights or more. And anybody staying for 4 nights or more on this promotion get 2 days of car rental complimentary. So they have to book it for the 4 days, so they have to pay for 2 days, but they get 2 days of the car rental complimentary. And this is available for anybody staying in the Loft and Cliffside villas. Okay, and as I mentioned, a minimum of 4 nights stay. So there are terms and conditions. We also have other early booking discounts. I mentioned before, these promotions have to be booked by the 28th of Feb to staying before the 15th of December. There are other early booking that I just want to highlight to you, which, for example, if you have anybody booking more than 60 days out, there's a 15% discount. Stay longer and pay less. So for 14 nights, anybody coming for 2 weeks, they have a special offer where they only pay for 10 nights as well. All subject to availability, and best to ask when making an inquiry what the best promotions and offers are. These are available right now for anybody looking to book. So now I want to share with you about the travel advisors. So what do you guys as travel advisors that support and send your clients to this resort get? So at the moment, there is a promotion for 15% commission available on all bookings which are placed before the end of February. And they get a free villa upgrade subject to availability when you are a new travel advisor with us. The usual commission, just for your reference, is normally 10%. If you're looking to plan a visit and you're coming to the island and want to come and visit and organise a fam trip, they do offer agent rates. So up to, well, actually, sometimes up to 50% discount. So I really want to encourage you to come and see and experience the property directly. We are also going to be organising a fam trip for later in this year. So if you are interested in attending a hosted fam trip, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll get you on the list. Once we've got dates and the itinerary and plans in place, I will certainly be in touch and let you know. But we'd love to get you to come and experience the property yourself. The best way to sell it to your clients and explain it to your clients and make sure your clients are the right fit for this property is to come and see it yourself. So let us know if you'd like to visit. And then for those of you, many of you are already part of this, but for those of you who are not already signed up, please do join our Hummingbird Consultancy Travel Advisor portal. On here is where we will announce the latest offers. There'll be exclusive offers just to people who are registered in our portal. We have special agent rate promotions that we have. You'll be the first to know about any other webinars, property information, events that we're hosting. So please do register fam trips as well. So we will always announce it on our Travel Advisor portal. So anybody registered there gets the first option on anything that we're doing. So visit our website, hummingbird-consultancy.com, and there's a little travel advisor section. Please do go on. It takes 2 seconds, register, and we will make sure you get all the information. So thank you so much for your time. I've seen a few questions that have come in, so I'm just going to go through those now. But if you have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A and let me answer them for you now. So please go ahead and pop them into the Q&A section. Just have a look at what we have here. Okay. So the distance from the airport is only 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you get a little bit of traffic. So it's very, very easy to get from the airports. And yes, the property can organise the transfers directly. That's no problem at all. That's fine. So no, the property isn't. So the question I've been asked is the property adults only? It's not adults only. Families are absolutely welcome. What I would say though is that from an activity perspective, there's not a huge amount of activities for younger children. It is more about coming for relaxation or to explore the island. If you have people that are looking to explore Grenada, that really want to sort of immerse themselves in the culture, this is a great base for them. People who want to come and sort of just relax and don't want the hustle and bustle of that tourist area, this is also a great option. So no, it's not restricted to adults only, but the ideal type of client coming will probably be from 12 years and upwards. But no, everybody is absolutely welcome. So Gloria, no, it's a new build from 2018. So they built, there was some of the structure was already there when the current owners took over the property, but it is actually really sort of refreshed build from 2018 when Jennifer and Mark bought the land and the basic structures, and they built it up from there. So 2018. I will send over some photos in the, so Sandra, I can see a question about the pool. I'm going to go back to, let me show you that now. So the question Sandra's asking is about the villa with pool. So let me just go back to that slide so you can see the pool area. So this is the villa with private pool on here. And this is, if you imagine, it's hard to take a photo of it because the pool's on the right hand side there, so you can see the bedroom, the suite is here. And then if I go to this not that slide, let me go back to this one. So you can see the pool is here, but the water's edge is here. So when you're in the pool, you look out over the area which is where the water is. So the water's sort of in front of you as you're in the actual pool itself. So, Lisa, in the three-bedroom villa, every room has a private ensuite. So there's three bathrooms in the actual bedrooms, and then there's one communal bathroom in the downstairs as well. So the beach area, I'm just going to go back to the map to answer your question, Adrienne. So the beach for the property, so the map area here, just to show you. So the beach isn't directly accessible. You can't walk out to the villas and you're on the beach. There is a small beach literally next door. So you can see on the bottom right-hand corner where the little umbrella is, that's where the secluded private beach is, public beach is. It is a public beach. So obviously at the weekends and things, you do get locals down there. But there's a walkway, so you can see just along the bottom of the screen there, running along where you can see Villas 7 and 5 and 1. That walkway down there takes you down, and there's some nice steps. And the resort actually maintains the beach, so it's not their beach, and there's not direct access, but it is. They do look after it, so the beach is there, and it is actually a really lovely little private, a public. I keep saying private. It's a public beach, but I mean, when I was there, I went down to the beach, and I was the only person on there for like 3 days. So it is a lovely area, but it's not directly out. It's next door, but 2 seconds, so it's literally just there. Okay. So Grand Ant, so the question that I'm being asked is about Grand Ant is about 20 minutes away. So when you look at the map, I'm going to go back to this map now. So you see where the wording of St. George is, just below that, the indent there, that whole area there is the main area of Grand Ant, which is where the big tourist area is, where you've got lots of bars and restaurants, lots of the sort of the larger hotels, the chain hotels are down in this area as well. Quite often we get people who are doing a bit of a split stay, so they want to have a couple of nights on that lively touristy area, and then they come and have, so you have 3 or 4 nights there, and then 3 or 4 nights at 473 as well, so you get a really nice mix. So if you have any other questions, please do let me know. After this session, I'm going to send through a link to the recording. I think I've answered all your questions now, but if you have any more, you can always message me directly. And if you've got any questions, you can always reach out. I've got some contact details. So I will also send through to you after this an email with a link to the recording. We also asked for a short questionnaire, just some feedback, just in case there's anything else you'd like us to have included, some feedback on the webinar. It takes literally 2 minutes, only about 5 or 6 questions. So it'd be great if you wouldn't mind just popping your details and filling that in for me. And by all means, if you have any questions, please do reach out. We'd love to welcome you yourselves if you're visiting Grenada. If you've got clients that are inquiring, let me know and we'll see what we can do to help you. Any questions you've got, let me know. And thank you again for taking the time to join us today. Really appreciate you joining and learning all about the wonderful 473 Grenada Boutique Resort. Hopefully we'll look forward to welcoming your guests, and we'll speak to you all soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.